I stand in front of you today to make the formal announcement that after 43 years I will be leaving the Labour Party, and I will not be going alone. This has been the accumulation of a number of years of mistreatment by the regional and national party, which has resulted in the blocking of our preferred candidate for parliamentary selection. The word was change.
Change begins now.
What we didn't realise that what they meant was change for the worse.
It looks like Keir Starmer's got a lot to do to turn public opinion around on his return after the holiday break. He was booed by crowds while away with his family in Portugal when he shoved past a 3-hour-long queue for a popular toboggan ride on the island of Madeira and used his status so as to not have to wait in line with the rest of the plebs, citing security reasons. When he gets back to the UK, he'll be facing more scrutiny and criticism that's been mirrored in the latest polls, which show the popularity of himself and his party to have hit new lows, as well as a massive walkout by Labour councillors in Broxtowe in protest against how Keith is running things at both a national and a local level. Let's see what's happening. The latest YouGov poll shows that Starmer's favourability rating has hit another all-time low, with just 25% thinking he's doing a good job as Prime Minister, compared to a whopping 66% who've noticed that he's about as much use as a chocolate teapot and that every promise he made before the election was just a lie to get into office so he could carry on with austerity and pander to the rich while ordinary people continued to suffer day in and day out. Despite several relaunches and slogans littered with promises, goals, pledges and missions, the public are now increasingly aware that he never follows through on any of them and is in fact nothing more than a Tory in a red rosette whose allegiance is with the establishment and the wealthy, as well as the Zionist lobbies who continue to back an illegal occupation in the Middle East. Looks like Keith has skipped the so-called honeymoon period and gone straight to the divorce stage faster than he dodges a line for a Portuguese sled ride. Never before has a newly elected Prime Minister lost popularity so quickly, and when you look at the list of those who've preceded him, then it speaks volumes about how truly awful he is. Next we have a seat poll from Birmingham Yardley, currently occupied by Jess Stab-you-in-the-front Phillips. You might remember that she scraped through by less than 700 votes in the general election, with the Workers' Party of Britain giving her a bloody good run for her money. As things currently stand though, it seems that Jodie McIntyre would knock Phillips off her perch and take what would normally be seen as a very safe seat away from Labour, as she has a 5-point lead in the latest poll. I'll also be keeping my eye on Ilford North, where Wes...
But shut up, Wesley!
Streeting clings to an even narrower lead than Phillips, with just 500 votes and a 0.5% swing being all it would take for independent Leanne Mohammed to unseat the current Health Secretary, who today revealed that any plans for improvements in the care sector will not come into effect before the next 3 years at the earliest. So much for...
Change begins now.
Hey, Keith? One change that has happened this week, though, won't be music to the Prime Minister's ears, as most of the Labour councillors in Broxtowe Council have walked out to form an independent group that's left the party with just 6 councillors. The 20 defectors have had enough of where Starmer is leading the party on a local, regional and national level, and are calling him out for the closure of a community hub that the neoliberals sought to shut down by underhanded means, as well as how democratic processes have been deliberately hindered. Here's a statement from Milan Radolovich on why Labour's actions have now gone beyond the pale in the Nottinghamshire town.
I stand in front of you today to make the formal announcement that after 43 years I will be leaving the Labour Party, and I will not be going alone. So far, over 100 people have agreed to join our group, and somewhere in the order of around 20 councillors will also be leaving the Labour Party. This has been the accumulation of a number of years of mistreatment by the regional and national party, which has resulted in the blocking of our preferred candidate for parliamentary selection. And recently, because it seems that we voted against the government's proposals to withdraw the winter fuel allowance, but they've also now blocked 10 of our members from standing in the county council elections in May.
We've seen this happen so many times since Starmer threw Corbyn under the bus and took over the party. He rides roughshod over democracy and deselects candidates, many of whom have already been elected and given a public mandate, only for them to be booted out and replaced with those loyal to the party leader and his neoliberal agenda, i.e. letting pensioners freeze to death rather than taxing the rich, a true insult to democratic process.
And I want to say to everybody, these people that they have blocked are committed, they are dedicated, and they invest an awful lot of their time and effort in serving the borough of Broxtowe. They would make well-worthy candidates, people who you can rely on. They are trusted, they are dedicated, they are hard-working.
Starmer doesn't want hard-working members who look out for their communities and citizens. He wants a bunch of yes-men who only do the bidding of the wealthy and pander to big businesses in the hope of getting a cushy peerage when they come out of office. That's the truth.
I myself have been 43 years in the Labour Party. I was first elected in 1986, and this was my 39th year as a councillor, which I've served 22 years as leader of Broxtowe Council and 8 years as leader of the opposition. And the hope over the previous 14 years of austerity and mismanagement of this country's finances and resources was an opportunity for a new beginning. The word was change.
Change begins now.
What we didn't realise that what they meant was change for the worse.
So, after 6 months in office, or just 10% of the parliamentary term if you prefer, it seems the vultures are already circling above Starmer. Despite a healthy majority in the House of Commons, rumours are abound that factions within Labour are already seeking to replace the Prime Minister before the next election in 2029. Whether that will come to pass remains to be seen, but one thing's for certain, with the way the party is heading, things can only get shitter for Keith and indeed for the UK. Let me know what you think about his future prospects in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons to help us out on the algorithm. You can now join the channel with a membership for just 99p with some great perks for you to enjoy, including exclusive content and early viewings, plus lots more. And you get to join the list of awesome people who support the channel that you can see on your screen right now. Hit the join button or follow the links in the channel description. If you'd like to make a one-off contribution, then please hit super thanks on the video or follow the link to our Buy Me a Coffee page where you can help to show solidarity and support the channel for just the price of a tasty hot beverage. All contributions are greatly appreciated. Thanks again everyone. My Left Eye, be seeing you soon.